What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, the Sebastian Alexander Bonet, but you can call me His Royal Highness, and welcome to another episode of Rhoyally PHUCKED. So hopefully you are doing well in your space and in your town, wherever you are. So let's hop into it. Today is January 3rd. Tonight's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm going to breeze through this because there is nothing that is really noteworthy about this episode. A couple of things that I want to touch on. First and foremost, you saw the episode, right? So I'm not going to go into a detail by detail play, but I am going to hit on some things that were triggering or red flags to me. So the biggest thing, I've already stated before that I don't particularly care for Ralph, who is Drew Saldana's, whatever her name is, husband. I do know that there is some type of formula for being on these shows, for longevity, for sustainability, for being a relevant person to keep a storyline. And ever since we were introduced to their family dynamics, I do not like him. There is very much a toxic masculinity feel towards him, that the man is always right and that I'm the man, I'm going to do what I want to do. And as we see in this episode, there's a lot of trauma that he has not come to grips with, has not dealt with, have not expressed, has not relinquished. In the episode, they go to counseling, both of them, with whomever the counselor is this week. But they share that, only boy, or I guess oldest boy or only boy in the house, mother didn't really show that much affection. And as he got older, he told his mother, I am going to live with Dad. If you don't appreciate me being here, whatever, I'm going to live with Dad. He left. She got evicted. She said, I'm sorry, yada, yada, yada. But something that struck me is something that often happens within the African American community is that, we have these terms of being like, oh, look at little man. Hey, look at Junior or whatnot. And we often put these labels on African American boys as little man when they're literally not that. We treat them like they are men, in this case, what Drew stated, withholding affection. We've been taught within and we've been taught by words and by deeds that black men, especially older black men, we don't say I love you. We don't show emotion. If a boy cries, we have to punch him and be mean to him and give him tough love to toughen him up because we don't want no sissies, we don't want no punks, or we don't even just want a soft male. That, the way that men show love of black men is that we take care of the household. We don't have to tell you, I love you. Me paying these bills every month is showing that I love you. And there is a false ideology it's just all bullshit. I don't know where that thinking or that processes came from to where that you have to be over emasculated or over masculine, or I have to be this, or I have to treat my boys like this. And I just don't understand it. Why is it that a father, and I know we're getting better now within this generation of boys, of men showing their sons affection, hugging their sons, kissing their sons on the cheek, showing that affection is know that daddy is here, daddy is going to always be in your corner, daddy's going to provide. And I know we're getting to that point now, but where did that ideology come from that boys had to be tough, that, we have to put the weight of the world on, as we call it, look at little man on their shoulders. If daddy leaves, that boy, young child, should not have to step up and be the head of the household, because this young boy, be it 5, 10, or 15, they're still adolescents. Let them enjoy their youth. Let them matriculate through childhood. Why are we so gung-ho of putting the mental, emotional, financial responsibilities of young boys, I'm not going to say young men, of young boys, putting that pressure on them? I don't understand that. So in this episode, he states that he effectively became the man of the household. Now, he didn't say how old he was, but I can only gather that he was younger than the age of 18. You know, I think if I remember correctly, he said he left to live with his father the senior year of high school. So if you do the math, that means his father left before senior year. So it could be anywhere from 5 up until what, 15, 16. So why do we do that? Why do mothers allow their sons to carry that weight? Why do mothers put that weight on their sons? Why must they be, and I'm not saying all mothers, but why must we perpetuate that, you know, your daddy gone, so you're the man of the house, so you're carrying this unspoken or spoken weight on your shoulders when you are not physically, mentally, emotionally, financially able to carry that. And we try to live up to someone that, one, we should not live up to, their actions or deeds, or someone that we cannot live up to. And so that further causes trauma, that further causes issues. So now, as we see it in Ralph, all of these things that happen as a child are manifesting as an adult male. Being able to just go off to Tampa without telling your wife. Being able to be emasculated. The word he used was being emasculated. Now, I know women, you all can emasculate me. And you can say things, call them, you know, sissy punks, queers, and you know, there are things that you can do to emasculate a man and make them feel some kind of way, and when not saying that it's right by any means, but when they pop off, when they go, when they hit you, it's just like, I didn't do anything. You don't have to emasculate someone to get your point across. And on the same note, men, you don't have to be so raw to get your point across. Effective communication. And so in this episode, I as a person that is in therapy, that has gone to therapy, there is trauma there that he needs to deal with outside of his wife, because all of that trauma happened before his wife. And I'm not a clinical psychologist or a therapist by any means, but if you're able to handle that trauma and get that trauma under grips or nip it at the root, then you can figure out how that is trickling into your marriage, into your relationship with your children, and be able to curtail that and give them, wife, children, family, what they need. Now, on the second part of that, Drew, your mama lives in the house. To me, that even as a man, I don't know if your mama got problems, if your mama got issues, if she is handicapped, if she a little slow, if she 2 sheets to the wind. I don't know. But if your mother is, what is the word? Able-bodied. If your mother is able to live on her own, why isn't she? And I understand that she may be there helping to take care of the kids, but she can clearly live in her own house and come in and take care of the kids, because there is something about even a man being the king of his castle. But one part of it is your mama don't need to know all of your marital business. Your mama does not. You go to a third party, get a third party entity, but your parents, because when you express things to your parents out of frustration, when you may forgive that man, that woman, or whomever, your parents, your friends, or whomever you tell, don't necessarily have to move on, even though you'd move on. And so having my mother-in-law in a house, especially if they are able-bodied and sufficient enough to live on their own, financially secure to live on their own, not, stroke, dementia, Alzheimer's, things of that nature, that is a problem. And if I was Ralph, that would be a problem for me. Why is your mother in the house? I don't understand. I never understood that dynamic. Even with Candy and Mama Joyce lived in her own house. And she came over to take care of Riley when we first met them in the beginning of the season. Mama Joyce came on over. Candy took her over to Mama Joyce's house. There was some division, some separation, some My mama always said, grown folks need to be in their own house. I.e. me and mine. Grown folks need to be in their own space. And so I have a problem with that. The next problem I have is with Lauren, Portia's sister. Long story short, if you didn't want Kenya there, don't invite her. Your gut said she is not invited, but for whatever reason in that moment, you said, okay, you know your friend, whatever. And then the day of, you take back the invite. Why did it take you a day to figure out if you wanted, or however long that time span was, to figure out if you wanted Kenya there or not? That is a slap in the face that you invite me and then you turn back around and disinvite me, especially if I have not done anything particularly to you. And I get that that is your sister, but if you didn't want me there in the first place, why didn't you go with your second mind and say, no, I don't want Kenya there? Because now there is no hoopla. Now there is no Kenya feeling bad or whatnot. And granted, Kenya is a shit star. Granted, and I think excuse me, the margaritas. And granted, I think your reasoning for not wanting Kenya there was valid in the first place, so you should have went with your first mind and not invited her, but now disinvited her the day of creates drama, and you know that this is going to, unless this is what was planned, because again, I say there is a mythology to these reality shows. Is that to create a storyline? Is that to create some kind of drama, to create some kind of issue? So I had a problem with that. Kenya reacted very gracefully in that moment. You know, why would you disinvite? It was a slap in her face. Now, again, granted, Kenya started shit, but, you know, you should not have invited her. Even though we know that Cynthia got married, she is irking the dog shit out of me because everybody sees it clear as day, but for some odd reason, she does not. Even Kenya was a good friend in that moment in the yoga studio. Like, bitch, you doing this shit for the show. You doing it for the show. You doing it for the people. You doing it for the glitz and for the glam. Why can't you just commit to marry Hill? What's his name? Something Hill. Mark Hill, Eric Hill, whatever. Why can't you marry Hill on 10-10-20? No matter who is there or not. Your immediate family will be there. His immediate family. Why is that? And for him, that's like the thing. Why am I not enough? Why am I not enough? That is what he is, and that's what I feel by looking at it. You are putting all the other shit, the glitz, the glam, all of the venue, opposed to the man you want to love. Why? If you're able to have it, great. But if you cannot, because and as we know that they already had it because we saw the pictures. But why isn't he enough? Why? So, with that being said, those are my key points. You know whatever else happened. Portia's doing what she's doing. Right on, my sister. Black power. I hear you, babies. That new girl, Kenya's friend. What's her name? I can't think of her name right now. She's starting to get on my nerves too. But again, I go back to say there is a formula for being on these shows. Everything that comes in your mind. God, I sound like my mama, because I have no filter most times. But everything that comes to your mouth, you don't have to say, why you have to say that? She look like she married old men or rich. Everybody wants to be relevant. And everybody has to take, and it's so easy to be the mean one or the shady one to get the likes and the views and get shit started to stay on the show. And anyways, I guess. But anyways, this is my review of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Season 13, I think this is like episode 4 or 5, I don't know. So make sure you subscribe, watch my other videos, share, like, and subscribe, follow, click the little bell, ding dong, and we'll be good to go. I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and much love. Bye.